Watch this video until the end, and trust me, you'll wish you had seen it months ago. At this very moment, as you sit alone in the silence of your room, have you ever stopped to ask yourself how many nights you've lost without even realizing it? How many times have you gone to bed with a weight on your chest? That quiet feeling that whispers to you that something isn't right. There's no need to deny it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Days pass like chapters in a story you never chose to write, yet here you are, repeating the same routine, waiting for change as if it's a gift that will fall into your lap without effort. But let me tell you something you might not like to hear. Change is not a miracle that descends from the sky. It's an attack you launch on your own life. It doesn't knock gently on your door or wait for an invitation. You either grab it with force, or it stays out of reach forever. There is no middle ground. Picture this. You're in a dark room. The lights are off. Silence surrounds you. You feel a hollow emptiness inside, not because life wronged you, but because you're living a life that doesn't fulfill you. You know this deep down. Yet instead of facing it, you lie to yourself with the same recycled excuses. I'll start tomorrow. Now isn't the right time. I just need to get things in order first. Days turn into months. Months into years. And you're still in the same place, holding the same excuses like armor protecting you from the truth. But listen carefully. Tonight can be different. Not because the universe chose you for something special. Not because a magical sign is waiting in the sky. But because you, and only you, can make this moment a turning point. Right now. Without permission. Without delay. Let's talk about something that might change the way you see yourself. Your story is not carved in stone. Imagine yourself as a film director like Quentin Tarantino. An ordinary man. No powerful connections. No clear path. But he had something rare, an obsessive passion for writing the story he wanted to tell, not the one the world expected from him. You have that same power. You can change the script. Rewrite the plot. Become the hero of your own film instead of remaining a shadow in the background. But there's a price. And that price is truth. The truth you avoid every night when you turn off the lights and turn your back on the mirror. The method is simpler than you think, but brutal in its simplicity. A notebook, a pen, and the silence of late hours. Just 3 things. No mentor. No new self-help book. No motivation before action. Just sit down. Take a deep breath. And start writing. Write about everything you're doing wrong. Without decoration. Without softening the facts. Without hiding behind excuses you've mastered over the years. Because the real problem isn't that you don't know what to do. It is that you're afraid to look at yourself honestly. Nietzsche once said, "Become who you are." But here's the paradox. To become who you are, you must first discover who you really are. That doesn't happen through wishful thinking or empty motivational slogans. It happens with the courage of a surgeon cutting into flesh to expose what lies beneath. You must dissect every mistake you made, every fear that stopped you, every doubt that made you retreat. And trust me, this will not be comfortable. Pain is the hammer that breaks the shell around you. But you've been running from it for too long, numbing it with distractions, with endless hours staring at screens that add nothing to your life, with the naive belief that the problem will dissolve if you ignore it long enough. It won't. Change begins only when you rip the blindfold from your eyes and face what's underneath. And what's underneath, if you're honest, is chaos. But here's the secret. Chaos can be organized. Mistakes can be corrected. Stories can be rewritten. Think of Tarantino again. He didn't wait for approval. He didn't postpone his passion until he felt ready. He sat in a small room and wrote relentlessly because he believed in his story. So what story are you writing? Is it your story, or a distorted version written by other people's expectations, societal pressure, or a routine that slowly crushes you? The difference between those who change their lives and those who remain stuck in mediocrity comes down to one thing. The former confront themselves with the same ruthlessness Tarantino writes his scenes. So here's the challenge I put in your hands. Tonight, when the world falls asleep and the noise of the day fades away, sit with your notebook and pen. Write without mercy. Document every foolish decision you made. Every fear that stopped you. Every excuse you used to stay where you are. Write until it hurts. And when it starts to hurt, don't stop. Then look for solutions. Don't justify anything. Don't convince yourself it's not that simple. Of course it's not simple. If it were, everyone would do it. Here's what no one tells you. You don't have to solve your entire life in one night. You only need one small decision. One concrete step you can take tomorrow to change the direction of your ship. Waiting will never make you ready. Fear won't disappear before you start. It fades along the way. The only way to kill fear is to move despite it. And the only way to change your story is to grab the pen and start writing it yourself. Imagine this. You're sitting in an editing room, watching the footage of your life. Failed scenes. Repetitive shots. Meaningless moments. You can keep playing it as it is, or you can cut what doesn't work and reshoot what does. But no one will do it for you. There was once a man working in a small video store, spending his days among dusty shelves, watching movies, and dreaming of creating something of his own. No degrees. No powerful network. Just an obsession with telling stories no one had told before. That man was Quentin Tarantino. He started with a pen and paper in a tiny room and built a cinematic empire. So look at yourself. What's stopping you? You have the same tools. Maybe even more. What you might be missing is that moment where you stop waiting and start acting. Be honest with yourself. You already know what you're doing wrong. That habit stealing your time. That relationship draining your energy. That thought you repeat every day to stay in your comfort zone. Accepting this hurts, because it means you were part of the problem. And that pain is exactly what you need. It's the doorway out of stagnation. Most people never reach this point. They bury their heads in distractions. Another show. Endless scrolling. Hoping tomorrow will bring a magical solution. Let me save you the trouble. There is no magic solution. Time alone fixes nothing if you don't change direction. It only becomes a graveyard for all the versions of yourself you could have been. And now let's talk about something most people ignore, the power of silence. When was the last time you sat with yourself? No phone, no music, no noise. Those moments before sleep, when only your thoughts remain, are the closest thing to truth. That's why the night matters. At night, the world stops interrupting you. No messages. No demands. Just you and your inner voice. If you fear that silence, it is because you know what is waiting in the dark, the ghosts of your mistakes, your fears, your abandoned dreams. And that's exactly what you must face. Your life is a film that never stopped recording. Before you add anything new, you must cut what's rotten. Tonight, write what you must let go of. Name it. Then delete it from the script. This isn't magic. It isn't cheap motivation. It's a decision to face yourself without masks. No one is coming to save you. And that shouldn't scare you, it should free you. If you are the problem, then you are also the solution. So now I ask you, will you keep waiting? Or will you sit down tonight and start writing the role you were born to play? If these words moved you, leave a comment saying, I am rewriting my story. And now, go write. No more excuses.